Welcome to the 1111 podcast. So glad that we are all here and we're all in this together. So let's take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. The rest is still unwritten, as they say. So I want to thank you for being on this journey of uncovering our real, authentic selves. Pat yourself on the back. Be proud of yourself for how far you've arrived on this path and how much you've already done. You should be very proud of yourself. And you should know that it only gets better from here. It only gets better from here because we will make it better from here. From here on out, we're in this together. So round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of the earth. Whatever you want to be, you can have, and you can make happen. So let us all go where we feel resonance and where we feel belonging. So I hope that you all are enjoying this season. And if you happen to have topics that you want to hear covered on this season, please let me know. We are getting ready for our Selah, our annual Selah. So next episode will be the mid-season finale. And I'm going to go live for that. So if you would like to join me, please make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel. Make sure the bell notification is turned on so you can be made aware of when new videos are released and when the live session will be occurring. It will start at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time next weekend, which will be the 31st of May if you're catching this as it is airing. So I want to thank you all for being on this journey and gearing up for the second half. The second half is going to be full of pleasant surprises. And so we're at a junction right now of what do we want to be as a collective, as a race, as a species? Where do we go from here? That's the question I pose to you all. Where do we go from here? And we can go wherever we want. We can go to the moon, quote unquote. We can go wherever we want from here. So I ask that question to you all, to make a conscious choice of where do you want to go from here. And if you want to stay right where you are, that's fine. That's awesome. That's an answer as well. But make sure the answer you choose is your answer and not one thrust upon you, but one that you've actually consciously chose. So where do you want to go from here, humanity? Do we want to go back to the dark ages? Do we want to move forward into the unknown? As scary as it may be, maybe it is the best place to be. So keep going, keep striving, keep moving forward as we walk on this path. And I just want you to know that you're not alone on this journey. Help is on the way, and help is always with you. There are unseen forces that are always guiding you. And the more aware you are, the more they show up. The more gratitude you have for their existence, the more things to be grateful for. And so if you are someone who is diligently wanting something new, wanting to transform, wanting things to go in a direction that they haven't gone before, wanting to live your best life and really pursuing that, it doesn't take long to get on the track that you're headed on. So if you would like to join all those who are on this path of healing, holistic healing, taking a holistic approach to our humanity, then join the 6-month holistic healing journey. There's a sign-up sheet in the description below. And if not for you, maybe someone else. Recommend it for someone else. It is a journey of self-discovery, a journey of transformation, and a holistic approach to mental health, your wellness, helping you thrive, helping you break any patterns, helping you move any stagnation, helping you lean into your manifestation and abundance qualities. That's what will be covered for the next 6 months. And so this journey starts in June and will continue until November. So if you were interested, please reach out. If you want more information, you can reach out as well. If you're ready to go ahead and be a part of the journey, click the link below, sign up, and we will go from there. So where we go from here is individually a personal decision, and it's also a macro decision, because every decision and choice we make has rippling effects, far reaching into the future and in our present as well. So oftentimes it's good to take a look back at how far we've journeyed in our evolution before knowing where we can go further. So taking this time as a self-reflection to see just how far you've come, how much you've done in this short amount of time, how much you've conquered, all the battles you've won, large and small battles that you've been facing. You did it. That is a great feat in itself. You did it. And so we are on a journey always of self-discovery, always of healing. Healing is a never-ending journey. The spiritual path is a never-ending journey. And we are here to uncover who we are. We are here to unravel all the layers. And so healing is one of those processes that you loop back around to. They say it's not a circle, it's a what? It's a what? It's a spiral. We love and miss you every day, but it is a spiral. And so you come back to the same points on the journey with deeper understanding, deeper awareness. And if you feel like your life is going in the same repetitive circles, there's a lesson in there, because the universe doesn't want you to fail. It's either a pass or repeat type of course. So if there's things that are reoccurring, it's a great time to gather some information, reassess, reevaluate, do something different. Where do we go from here? Nobody knows. That's the beauty in it all. Nobody knows. Which is why it requires trust, faith, and surrender into the unknown, into the universe at large. Because where we go from here is going to be a tapestry of our decisions and our choices. Where we go from here is going to be seen in the evidence of our actions. Where we go from here, we never know. But there is a divine universal plan that has gone before that is governing everything that's shaping. So no matter which timeline we choose, we can never get it wrong. We can never get it wrong, nor more could we get it right either. It's all about experience. It's all about learning and growing and healing. And so where we go from here is wherever you'd like to go. Where would you like to go is the key question right now. What changes would you like to see happen? What things would you like to see stay the same? What things would you like to reinvent or invent itself? We're all out here just winging it. No one knows exactly what they're doing. You can put this microphone in the hands of thousands of parents or people who, have done amazing things. They didn't know what they were doing, but they felt the urge to do so. And you just take the first step, and the rest of the path reveals itself. So we don't have to know where we're going. We just have to know that we are going in a direction towards our dreams, in a direction towards our freedom. And I'm going to leave a few of the YouTube stars and channels that I follow that I recommend in some of their journeys, who have gone into the unknown, who have been an inspiration to myself, and who have really laid a path and the groundwork for others. So I want to thank all the entrepreneurs, all the rebels, and all of the people who have gone before to forge a path that was unknown. You all are the blueprint. And I hope to model myself in the same fashion, because a lot of things that have occurred in my own journey have been far reaching into the unknown. You couldn't have told me I'd be where I am today and who I am today years ago. I wouldn't have believed it. So I'm very grateful for who I am and where I'm be going. So right now in humanity, there is a dividing path, if you will. You know, growing up, there was all this talk about the series, book, movie, etc. The Left Behind series had a very religious cult following. We don't want to be left behind in the end times, trials and tribulations. We don't want to be left behind. The thing is, you can never really be left behind unless you leave yourself. But as long as you are always with yourself and always one with yourself, you'll never be behind. There's no competition out there. That's always competing with yourself. I never feel competition from the outside. It's always trying to be better than the version of myself I was the day before. Trying to learn more, trying to grow more, trying to love more, trying to be less avoidant, trying to communicate more. Whatever I'm currently working through at that time, that is what my focus is. And so right now we are at a pathway that diverges. One that leads us right back into the loop we've been in, where we continue to recycle the same karmic narratives, where we continue to be playing it safe, where we continue to stay where everything is predictable, in a sense that it is almost suffocating, that is so predictable. Or even worse, we go back to Egypt, for lack of analogy here. We go back into bondage. We go back into slavery. We go back into the false comfort. That is a trajectory that we could be on, and that many will go towards. Or we can go into the unknown. We can go into the path less taken. We can go into a new journey that has not been beaten down by the feet of many, but that has to be made by our footsteps. You know, the wide path many have traveled, so it's not that challenging to continue to walk that way. But the narrow path has got no direct straight line of how to get to the other side. And there's not a smooth ground that has been traveled on by many. You cannot necessarily see the way all the time. And there will be branches and bushels and things that are in your way. But that path is the path that leads you into your internal home. That's the path that will lead you to your greatest freedom. And that is the path that only you can take. No one else can walk it for you. It's a choice of where do we want to go. Now some may say that unknown path is going more into the artificial intelligence, going more into space. My thought process has always been, why not take care of what we already have? Why go into space and mess up another planet? Why not just take care of the planet we have been given? If we haven't been trusted enough to do well with what we have, why should we think we deserve more or deserve something else that we will tarnish just as well? And the last episode I asked about artificial intelligence, AI and humanity. How can we walk hand in hand together in this path? Now see, the narrative that the matrix and the collective and the hierarchy and the patriarchy will tell you is that if you don't learn AI, you're going to be left behind. That's why I want to mention the Left Behind series, because it had a cult following for a reason. And they still try to use that same propaganda language of FOMO and getting left behind. And they try to tell you, you see these ads, if you don't know AI, the next generation is going to know more than you. They're going to make more than you. They're going to be better than you. And all this stuff. I say great, that's what the next generation's supposed to do. They should be. And at the same time, they could never be. Because what you have to offer, what I have to offer, is unique to our own individual stance. And our own individual fingerprint, our uniqueness, can never be replicated by anything else. So it's a fool's journey to think that one is better, or that we need to compare each other in these divisive ways. We don't. We need to learn to work together and accept one another, flaws and all. We need to learn to accept one another. So I can see a very artificial path where people become more anxious, more fake, more artificial themselves, and begin to merge with the machine and lose all capacity of humanity. Forget how to have interactions, forget how to have relationships, forget how to resolve conflict without needing some artificial intelligence to tell you how to do so. And again, this is not a judgment call, this is not a right or wrong. These are simple options that might exist for us all to think of which route do we want to take. And again, this is just a limited perspective from my own viewpoint. So there are many paths that can be taken when we ask ourselves, where do we want to go from here? Where do we want to go from here? I'll tell you where I want to go from here. I want to go further into the unknown. And I want to go further into self-worth. I want to go further into healing, transmuting, being a better friend, being a better person, shadow work, learning different attachment styles, taking accountability and being the leader and king that I'm born to be. That's where I'm going to be headed. Now, take a moment to think about where you want to be. And this is not some cliche, where do you want to be in 5 years type of BS. This is, where do you want to go from here? Who you are in this moment, with the skills you know, with the reality that you're living in. Where do you want to go from here? It doesn't have to be some far-reaching thing into the future. It could be just the simplest thing. Maybe you just want to wake up in the morning. I think that's an awesome goal. There are many days I don't know if I'm going to, right? But I get up, and so do you. So where do you want to go from here? That's the question. The current shift will continue to try to divide, try to conquer more, try to occupy more of your heart, your mind, your preferences, try to tell you what is possible, and try to continue to null and dull you to giving up your precious being, your precious soul. So you'll see these things that will continue to try to tell you to continue to devolve instead of evolving, to devolve into complaining, to devolve into being argumentative, devolve into not trying, devolve into your fears, and be consumed by things that may or may not happen, but to continue to devolve into needing something to be dependent upon. But I say there's another way, where you find your courage, where you find the resolve within yourself to evolve beyond your current circumstance, to evolve beyond what you believe is possible, and to evolve beyond your greatest dreams and imagination. There is another path that leads us into the heart of nature. See, when we have people in charge who resist accountability, that becomes the norm. It becomes better to stay silent. It becomes better to avoid hard conversations. It becomes better to numb ourselves and to, do all the things to distract ourselves from the pain that we might be in, the grief that we might be feeling. But I say feel it all. Feel it all without shunning it, without running from it, but hold it in your hands like a delicate treasure and learn from it, transmute from it. And so many things I've just seen, how people have to wear these masks, have to lie to themselves and everyone else and play these games. And it's quite sad. It's one way of existing, but is it living is the real T. Is it living? And so, learning how to protect ourselves, learning how to be back in the heart of nature. Because see, we have all that we need. We've always have. But when we start to see things in excess and start to abuse things, we lose the value of them. We lose the precious gift that they are. So where do we go from here? Do we go where we've never been before? Or do we stay where it's comfortable? As T.O. Swan said, we didn't arrive here to just get to death safely. We're not just here to play it safe. We're actually here to push the boundaries. We're here to make change. You know, I asked, what are we here for? Well, what do you think we're here for? Because sometimes it can feel just like a real effing joke. Why are we here? Why are we here if people are not going to have the lives that they want to have? Why are we here if we're going to be slaves to productivity and capitalism? Why are we here if we can't do the things that we want to do, if there's sickness and illness? Why are we here if we can't live abundantly? And it's different for each and every one of us why we are here. And again, that takes a micro and macro question of individually why you're here and why are we here as humans? What is the point of all of this? Really, what is the point of all of this? If it just continues to cycle back around? Or are you just here for this temporary time and then die and it never mattered? Whatever you believe, why is it the case? Why are we here? So, understand that there's no right or wrong. All we have to do is understand our own unique purposes, understand what we want to see projected in the future, who we want to be, what kind of person do we want to be, what kind of legacy do we want to leave, and how do we want to feel. It's so important to tap into how do you want to feel. It doesn't have to make sense to anyone else. You know, how do you want to feel? And let that be your guidance. And I know that from a young age it's been beaten out of us to feel that we were punished to feel happy. And we were told you have to do work if you want to feel good. We were really conditioned on these really rigid systems. That's not what we needed. We needed guidance. We needed boundaries. We needed help. What we didn't need was shame and blame and guilt. We didn't need regrets and remorse. What we actually needed was to learn how to feel and transmute those energies and understand what it's there to teach us and let it linger long enough for us to get the nutrients out of it without allowing it to overstay its welcome. These things were probably not modeled because most people haven't learned how to tap into their emotional well-being. But that is part of the path that I would encourage you to take. So again, I want to reiterate, if you are wanting to join the 6-month healing journey, we're always on a journey. So this is a chance that you can have a conscious choice in the direction of your life. It doesn't take much besides consistent effort to get things the way you would like them to be. 6 months of consistent effort can put you on a whole trajectory you never thought possible. Now, I'm not going to pretend it's going to be easy. You may have challenges that you didn't expect. But that doesn't mean you have to go through it alone. And it doesn't mean that you're not capable of overcoming them. You most certainly are. You wouldn't be given these challenges if you weren't able to overcome them. That dream in your heart is in there for a reason. So let's do this together and get there. And to know that this is a sacred space where you are held and contained and loved, truly, truly loved and seen. So if that sounds like something you want to embark upon, Maybe you've never done counseling before. Maybe you've done it all your life. This is something unlike anything you've ever experienced because this is your journey and I'm here to help you on it. So make sure you sign up, clicking the link below for the 6-month holistic healing journey. I want to thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing to the YouTube channel. And I want to leave you with, what do you want to go from here? The question I want to ask is, what do we want? That's really the question, is what do we want to gain, to see? Do we want to go into a world where we just feel good but nothing is actually good? A world of illusion that we've continued? Or do we want a world of truth that may come with a side of shades of gray and painful emotions and situations, but it's real? Do we want that? Or do we want something fabricated? So know that you are well, know that you are safe, and know that you are more than enough. And where we go from here, I leave to you. Until next time.